Brian Griffin has died. Although the top brass at Family Guy had promised the death of a major character in season 12, few would have suspected that they'd kill off Brian Griffin. After all, Brian and Stewie are as essential a duo to Family Guy as Charlie Brown and Snoopy are to Peanuts. There are a lot of things that stood out to me as odd, however, and make it difficult for me to accept that Brian is actually gone. One, Fox has already announced several episodes with Brian's name in the title, which seems to indicate his ongoing involvement. Additionally, Maya Rudolph and Glenn Howerton have been hired for a upcoming 2014 episode that involves Brian specifically. Two, Stewie just gives up. When Stewie learns that he won't be able to find the parts for the existing model of his time machine, he gives up and accepts that Brian is gone. This is a huge plot hole. When has Stewie ever just given up and resigned himself to a devastating situation? His character is established to have an advanced, even superhuman understanding of quantum physics, the ability to travel between dimensions, and a whole host of other skills that would allow him to save or resurrect Brian if he chose. Contrary to the story's attempt to make the death seem watertight, it instead comes off as arbitrary. Stewie is a rogue character to whom the regular laws of existence do not apply. Consequently, the idea of Stewie just giving up somehow seems difficult to swallow. As Harlan Ellison pointed out, point 3, Superman was killed off many times before the much publicized death of Superman in the 90s. Now, Family Guy has never killed off Brian completely, but they have been threatening us with his death for some time. He faced execution in Brian Portrait of a Dog. It was implied that he might be replaced by another dog due to his advanced age in The Man with Two Brians. He offered to give up his life to save Peter in New Kennedy in Town, and while not a death threat, his role in the show was jeopardized in the episode The Thin White Line. This also wouldn't be the first time that they'd cried wolf regarding a character's death, such as the story arc in Season 6, where first Stewie appears to kill Lois and then Lois appears to kill Stewie before revealing that the whole thing was a virtual reality revelation. This wouldn't be the first time that virtual reality was used to mislead viewers regarding a death. The same technique was employed in the episode Forget Me Not, in which Brian throws himself in front of a bullet, dying to save Peter. Lastly, Stewie faked Brian's death in the episode Dog Gone. For these reasons, it seems unlikely, or at the very least unrealistic, to think that Brian is gone for good. However, it would seem that shakeups like this might indicate a show's creators' growing disinterest or dissatisfaction with the show, as was the case when X-Files creator Chris Carter replaced Mulder and Scully with the now largely dismissed Doggett and Reyes towards the end of the show's run. In Carter's case, he had wanted to see the X-Files be more of an anthology series with the roles of the primary agents changing throughout the series, which he envisioned going for another 10 seasons at least. In the case of Family Guy, it's no secret that Seth MacFarlane has been vocal in his desire to end the show so that he can work on different projects. Family Guy is poised to enter the stratosphere of long-running animated shows occupied by the likes of South Park, The Simpsons, and King of the Hill, and MacFarlane has stated that he thinks TV shows should run about 7 seasons max, so this would indicate it's possible a similar change is in the works, only this time an attempt to draw it to an end rather than prolonging it. For what it's worth, I did find Brian's replacement, Vinny, to be affable and enjoyable, his warm and inviting voice provided by Tony Sirico of Sopranos fame. It certainly won't be an unwelcome presence, but I have to think that it's going to affect the comic timing of the show. Vinny had little opportunity to play for laughs in his first appearance, and with the family's grieving for Brian still unresolved, it seems that Vinny's character will have difficulty adapting to the flippant, carefree tone of Family Guy's humor. Whatever the case, fans the world over are now watching Family Guy with bated breath, which was definitely the intention all along. If you're coming to youtube.com/JordanOwen42 for the first time, I invite you to subscribe for future videos, pick up a copy of my novel Eros Empire, available wherever fine books are sold, and check out my exciting new science fiction fantasy web series, The Vessel Chronicles. Thank you for your time.